Time for a crypto market update, February 7th, 2026. This video is all about conspiracies, predictions, and positioning. So if you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, give me a number 3 in the comments so I show up in your feed more, and maybe even give me a follow, a like, and a repost. Share it with a friend too. This is a long one. Hang in there. I'm throwing a lot at you in this one. Okay, first with two somewhat material conspiracies here. Jim Cramer, love him or hate him, was on CNBC yesterday, actually, talking about the Trump administration, and he said, I heard, quote unquote, I heard the administration's buying at 60K, which obviously Bitcoin went to 2 days ago. Now, where's the conspiracy here? Well, it's not necessarily a conspiracy. It is theoretical, though, because many believe that the strategic Bitcoin reserve that Trump made as a campaign promise, well, that's a still unfulfilled campaign promise. To the extent that, yes, we have a strategic Bitcoin reserve as a nation, but it's all through non-purchased Bitcoin, right? It's seized Bitcoin from scams and crimes through the Department of Justice. But the U.S. government has only had budget-neutral approaches to Bitcoin acquisition. But we're wondering here with Jim, is the United States government accumulating at these recent lows? To make matters even more interesting, Michael Saylor, right? CEO or chairman of Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, largest digital asset trust in the world in terms of Bitcoin. They own 3% of Bitcoin supply. They had an earnings call on Thursday, and he conspicuously mentioned the Trump administration, very specifically, several times, which is unusual for a publicly traded company. And with Bitcoin's recent price movement, we now have a Bitcoin that's trading at prices pre-election of Trump. And Trump, of course, took great pride in the price appreciation due to his election. We also know, or at least theorize along with many on X, that Mr. Saylor has been in proximity to the Trump family as recently as 24 hours ago. Now, this is not a gossip column. This is just me going, hey, does Michael Saylor, who, kind of has a dog in the hunt here, does he have asymmetric information that he's not allowed to talk about directly yet, but maybe, just maybe, there's a bid for Bitcoin that all the bears aren't anticipating? Now, a little info from my private Discord group. It's full of great people, just salt of the earth, awesome people like you and I that are trying to build massive impact for their families, their communities through the power of the outperformance of crypto. Dan here is no exception, and he's great with information, data, charts, all that good stuff. And he was curious, so he took a quick look at the 20 times Bitcoin fell over 10% in a single daily candle, which happened, right? This happened 2 days ago. And how it performed the next 7 days. By the way, the last time it fell this hard was over 3 years ago, and it did not include October 10th, believe it or not. Now, here's a closer look at his data, and I found this just riveting. Not necessarily predictive, but could help you from a short-term positioning standpoint. The other times that this happened was here and here. And the day one afterwards was green, which we experienced yesterday. And then day 2 was red for both of those. And so far for us, it's red. Slightly red, but red. Both of those other times, only one other day after day 2's red, was there another red appear in that 7-day period. Again, not predictive, but hey, data over emotion, right? As I've said many times before, there's 2 ingredients to building wealth in crypto literacy skills and market cycle knowledge. And that's what most people are missing. And the biggest investment they can make is in themselves, not throwing it into crypto necessarily. But doing that simultaneously can be a killer combination. So let's talk about positioning, because being a mature, experienced, sophisticated crypto investor doesn't necessarily mean you can look into a fortune cookie or a crystal ball and tell the future. It's not about predictions. It's about positioning. It's about having market cycle knowledge so that you can get your surfboard in the water before the next big wave. It's about strategic entry strategies. It's about strategic profit-taking plans. It's about understanding your time horizons. The happiest and healthiest people are those whose expectations are consistently met. And if you're setting 7-day time horizons on your investments, you're probably going to be upset more times than not. Now, that being said, there's a lot of pattern recognition charts out there that could argue that Bitcoin's simply following in the footsteps of its big brother gold. That same chart I just showed you exists for Nvidia and Google as well. Even if you look at the NASDAQ index, it's been in this sideways choppy accumulation pattern, which really has kept Bitcoin and the greater crypto market at bay. But there are signals in the noise. The Fed balance sheet is increasing. We have a shift in regime from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. Again, when it comes to positioning, it's really important to have pattern recognition and understand different trading patterns over mid to long-term time frames. And even in the short-term time frame right now with Bitcoin's chart, it's still within a potential broadening top pattern. And even though you may have recency bias and that you think because it took 4 months for Bitcoin to find a local bottom, that it'll take another 4 or 5 months to find a local top. Well, that's how you get wrecked. That's maximum pain, and the market is here to inflict maximum pain. And regardless of which of these moving averages it uses as a major resistance, or if it makes this entire expansive 5-way impulsive move up, for all of you altcoin holders out there, if Bitcoin can simply continue grinding upward, not even in a parabolic move, just in a healthy stage by stage support resistance way, the other's BTC chart is in an uptrend. It's waiting on Bitcoin, and most of the altcoins that are the good stuff in the others, or the total crypto market cap minus the top 10, are positioned for short-term success. You can even see back in 2018 December, the others chart here on the bottom, Bitcoin chart on the top. As Bitcoin topped out and went downward towards another local lower high, the others chart went up and almost doubled in total market cap price. Bottom line is the musical chairs don't play all in the same symphony. And nobody knows really what a bull market or a bear market is anymore. What's really important is positioning. Because Microsoft can be in a bear market while Nvidia can be in a bull market. Zcash can be in a bull market and front run while Bitcoin is in a bear market. Stop being so binary. There's cycles within cycles within cycles. There's opportunities to position for the next move all the time. But it's really hard to do it blindly. That's why you need a framework. That's why I use the crypto flywheel method. Cash flow, appreciation, leverage. Passive income with yields, appreciation for windfalls, and cyclical and intercyclical equity positions, and leverage so that I can always use my collateral to parlay into more cash flow and repeat the process over and over and over again. Now, I know this is a long video. Thanks for being here. If you still are here and you're still trying to just make it in crypto, but you don't know what you don't know, I'd love to help you. If you're one of those people who want to become the better version of yourself, maybe you want your own crypto flywheel method. Maybe you just don't want to do crypto by yourself anymore. Maybe you feel like the heretic or the hypocrite in your friend group and everybody laughs at you while they own silver. Maybe you're a blue-collar business owner. Maybe you're an executive that works a really steady 9 to 5, but man, you'd love to make your time more efficient. That is, when you put your nose to the crypto grindstone, you can actually make a difference and move the needle. If that's you, I invite you to cryptoyall.com, where you can learn how to build wealth through crypto without having to become a day trader. Watch my little overview video. It's 12, 13 minutes long. It's free. There's no obligations. But if you hear my story and you see how I do it and you want to do it yourself, schedule a one-on-one video call with me. A little button will pop up under the video. Like and follow for more.